Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode here of Franchise Hockey Manager 8 with the Buffalo Sabres. It's almost opening day. We're a little bit behind here. I had a bit of a hectic end to my week last week. Normally I like to get these Sabres videos out on Friday. That obviously didn't happen. It's Monday right now and I hope to get this video out today. So I'm going to record it in the morning, get it edited, and get it posted tonight so we can get back on schedule here a little bit. But last we left off at October 9th, and we had a bit of an unusual offseason. The plan was to go big with free agent, to try to sign a big-time free agent or something. We took a completely different path and ended up signing a bunch of young 3.5-star prospects. So we have way too many players on our roster right now. So we are going to, let's get Eichel off the trade block first and foremost. We are going to have to make some changes and make some decisions here. Looking back, I probably wouldn't have re-signed Rasmus Andersson to that 3-year, $9 million contract, given who we signed, so we will immediately put him on the trade block. I think Vladislav Firstov can go on the trade block. Because I don't know if we put, I assume that if we put Firstov on waivers, he will get claimed. But we have some younger players who are as good, if not, and I mean, he's only 25. It's not like he's old, but we have younger players that are as good as him. So, we need to get our roster down to 23 players. We currently have 26, and we're still way under the cap even with what we have. So, Reed Anderson. I think Anderson can go to the minors for now. So Anderson can go to the minors. We got to say we have too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we have 9 defensemen, so 2 more defensemen are going to have to go down. Mazden Leslie and McKinnon, 15, 15, 15, 13. I think we go, and Forsmark is 14, 15. So I think we're going to go Forsmark. All these, oh, he has a no movement clause. Oh, right, because we got him off waivers. So McKinnon can go down. And what do we do with that last one? I mean, Klingberg won the Norris Trophy last year, or was a Norris Trophy finalist last year. He's in the last year of that contract that we signed him to. I mean, Klingberg to me makes the most sense, given that his defense is only a 13. He's 3.5 stars. I really don't want to send Leslie down. He looks so good, but I think that might be the option for now. All right, so we got down to 23. I think Klingberg comes out and Forsmark comes in. Even at, what is he? Let's just look at his. Yeah, let's just sign that contract right now. Get him locked into that $1.2 million contract for 3 years. That's a super cheap deal. This could be the end for Rasmus Dahlin in a Sabres uniform, really. I mean, he's 3.5-star, 4-star potential. He wants $8 million for 5 years. I think this is it for Dahlin. In fact, depending on how the year goes, we may trade him at the deadline and try to pick up some additional draft picks. So we have to set our lines. So I think from a forward perspective, Firstov is going to come out. Poltapov will come in. And then Benson, I want to get out there. For who? God, our forward lines are stacked. Nemestikov, Danielson, Eichel, and Yeko. Maybe Yeko? No, Aremba. So Aremba will come out and Benson will come in. So our backups, as you were, will be Klingberg, Aremba, and Firstov. So let's go to the lines. I guess let's clear. So let's just go down the middle first. So Nemestikov is going to be our number 2. Eichel will be our number 1. I don't want Nemestikov as a grinder, I don't think. Counterattacking forward, yeah. Benson as our 3. And Danielson as our 4. So those will be our 4. Those will be our 4 centermen. If we go down the left, we want Vrana out there with Eichel. I don't necessarily think we need 2 danglers, though. So maybe... Is that his best role? Do we want him as a... I think I want to go counter-attacking forward. And then on the right side... Man, we have such a different team this year. Such a different team. Oh, that's right. We got Dylan Cousins coming back, too. So Cousins will be on that. I forgot about that. I was just wondering where he went. So Cousins will end up on that top line. So I think for now, we're going to stick Peddle out there as the top line right wing. We'll put Yeko on the as the number 2. Are we going to do that? Or are we going to do middle stat? Middle stat's our number 2 left wing. So it's not going to be a super high scoring second line, but it's going to be I think it'll be an effective to it. And I think Peddle will move down to the second line to give us some offense. So we may do this. Let's do this. Let's put Peddle on the second line. Yeko, I think, moves down. Yeah, we'll have Benson as the sniper, Yeko as a playmaker. So we got Shaw on the third line. We'll put Quinn on the top line for now. Poltapov and Savoy. And I think those will be our lines. That's a pretty damn good team, guys. Pretty good team. So Vrana, Eichel, and then eventually Cousins. Second line will be Middlestat, Nemestikov, and Peddle, then Shaw, Benson, and Yeko, and then Poltapov, Danielson, and Savoy. Our shootout players will be Vrana and Eichel and Peddle and Benson and who? I guess it doesn't really matter. Let's give Savoy a shot. Goalies, we're going to go Luukkonen and Portillo, and we'll split the time right down the middle. Extra attackers will be Eichel and Nemestikov. Our D pairing, Chychrun will be our top line D-man. And he'll be out there with he'll be out there with Owen Power. Hopefully we can get a little bit more production out of Owen this year. Our second pairing will be Dahlin and Anderson. And then our third line will be, I don't know that I like the 2 rookies paired together, so I think we're going to do this. Dahlin and Forsmark and Allen and Anderson. I think that works. So power play, Vrana, Eichel. Who do we have on his line? Top line with him right now? Quinn. Right, and that'll change once we get Cousins back. That second line, Nemestikov, Middlestat, and Peddle. Back on the... So I think Dahlin on the point and Allen, because those are the 2 best offensive defensemen we have. And then... Let's get Benson out there on the top line and Yeko on the second line. So let's just copy all of that. I don't know how far along we're going to go on this episode. I am recording, right? Yeah, all right. I don't know how far along we're going to go. You know, it's, October 9th, so maybe we can get through November, maybe, depending on sim times and how well this feels like cooperating with me today, and injuries and stoppages and all that stuff. Nemestikov and Peddle, I think, as our power play. PK. Who are our best defensive defensemen? So, skater ratings, defense. It's all defensemen, of course. Nemestikov. Wait. Oh, that's a combination of all of their defensive ratings. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, we don't have a ton of good defensemen out on our team. That's the one issue. We got a couple, and it really doesn't matter. So Benson, Eichel, Nemestikov, and Peddle. So Nemestikov will be that top guy with Peddle. Then we put Benson out there with Eichel. And then I think Shaw and Middlestat. 3-on-5, we'll go Nemestikov and Eichel. 3-on-4, we'll go Nemestikov and Eichel. On the PK, we're going to go Chychrun and Dahlin on the top pairing. And then we're going to go Anderson and Power on the second pairing. And then we'll put Forsmark and Allen on that third pairing. And we will change how much they are out there. Something like that. Same thing, Chychrun and Dahlin, Anderson and Power. Chychrun and Dahlin, Anderson and Power. All right. Now we have, what, the 4-on-4s and the 3-on-3s. So on the 4-on-4, it will be Eichel and Vrana. And then Nemestikov and Peddle. I think Nemestikov and Peddle could work well together, with Peddle being that offensive guy and Nemestikov being really defensive-minded. So out here 3-on-3, we will go same thing, Nemestikov. We're going to go 2 forwards on 3-on-3s. And we will put Chychrun out there with them and Dahlin out there. 4-on-4, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Chychrun, Dahlin, Power, and Anderson. So I think that works for our lines. Goalie starts, backup starter. We are going to go 4-and-4. Let's save these lines. Initial lines 2026, not 10/16, 2026. All right. So our lines are set. Our next game's the 14th, so we will sim ahead to the 14th. We'll probably get stopped a couple of times to tell us there are some interesting players on waivers. Anybody of note? Nope. Really just looking for those high ceiling guys on waivers. But again, the problem is the way the game is set up is in the real NHL, if you pick somebody up off of waivers, I think it's you can't trade him for X amount of time. I think that's the rule. I don't know what that time frame is, but there's an X amount of time that you can't trade somebody after picking them up off of waivers. And in order to try to mirror that as much as possible in the game, any player that you pick up off waivers has a no movement clause. So you can't send them to the minors, you can't trade them, you can't, whatever. So if I'm going to pick somebody up off of waivers, I have to make sure that there's somebody that I'm willing to potentially waive or cut to give that person's spot to them. Does that make sense? I don't know if my words are coming out correctly, but we're going to replace Quinn with Cousins. We aren't going to leave Quinn on the bench. He's going to stay up. Can Aremba go to Rochester? He can. So who do we want on the bench? 15, 13, 15, 15. Wow, Savoy's actually better than Quinn. Okay. Vrana. Danielson, 15, 13, 15, 13. I think so. So you replace him with Quinn. And let's just make sure, because Quinn is not a center. He's a left wing or right wing. Savoy can, so we'll just do that. All right. So our first game is going to be against the Bruins. Let's get up to that date, and we'll see how it goes. We'll just keep simming day by day. We'll look at the box scores and whatnot and sort it out from there. Anything interesting? No. Season preview. We are the early Stanley Cup favorites, led by Max Nemestikov. Cool. Trade between LA and Montreal. Mike Hardman, a 27-year-old for a third-round pick. Colorado might be entertaining offers for Gabriel Landeskog, who is 33 years old, down to 3.5 stars. Forsmark signed that deal. What do we have for upcoming free agents other than him this year? Oh, crap. Okay. I guess, that's one of the problems with having so much talent is it's going to get expensive. So Klingberg's going to walk. We are fine to let him walk. Vrana, I think we're going to let him walk as well. Yeah, he wants $6 million for 3 years. So Klingberg and Vrana are easy decisions. I do want to bring back Portillo. That's a no-brainer. I do want to bring back Nemestikov. That's a no-brainer. The questionable ones, what does Middlestat want? 4.7. That's reasonable. Poltapov wants... Yeah, that one seems like an absolute. So Poltapov will probably be back. Nemestikov will be back. Portillo will be back. Allen, that's a reasonable contract, $2 million for 3 years. So Portillo, Allen, Nemestikov, Poltapov, Middlestat probably back. Portillo will be back. Klingberg and Vrana will be gone. It really comes down to Rasmus Dahlin. So what does Nemestikov want? I think we need to get that. Yeah, we need to get this contract taken care of right now. So let's start here. He wants 3 years at 3.8, so we will offer him 3.2 at first, see what he says. Bump it up a little bit. Okay, he's unhappy. So I think 3.8 for 3 years is fine for Nemestikov. That takes until he's 25. And we'll check this periodically. But Portillo, oh, yeah, let's just do that now and get that over with. All right. So now we got our game against the Bruins. Let's see how it goes. 4-3 victory. Eichel with the Hattie had 4 points, 3 goals, and a hat trick for... Okay, so Portillo and Nemestikov both signed their deals. That was great. So that was a good opening day for us. We get the 4-3 victory. We're down 2-0, but we get the 4-3 victory in overtime, and we signed Nemestikov and Portillo. So Eichel in the first from Forsmark and Dahlin. Vrana from Eichel and Cousins. Eichel from Vrana and Cousins. So Vrana had a goal and an assist. Cousins had 2 assists. Eichel had 3 goals. Oh, Vrana had a goal and 2 assists. Eichel with 3 goals and an assist. Luukkonen stops 30 of 33. And we get the victory. Very nice. All right, so good opening day. So our second game is also against the Bruins, this time in Boston. So let's see how this season goes. Season number 6 for us, I guess? Dissolved the contract. Great. Oh, he's nothing special. All right, so another game against the Bruins. Then we got a game tomorrow against Colorado, so back-to-back. Against the Bees in Boston is a 2-1 victory. Let's go. So Portillo got the start in that one. Savoy with a goal. We trailing again as the Bruins get on the board early. Peddle from Nemestikov and Dahlin. Then Savoy from Middlestat and Chychrun in the third period. Portillo stops 38 of 39 shots. So another good game for the Bruins. Buffalo might be looking to move Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. We might be. Next day, as we have another game today against the Avs. We are 3-0 out of the chute here. So good start to the season. Shootout win this time. So Forsmark had a couple of assists. Cale Makar, 2 assists for Colorado. Cousins picks up his first. So we're down 3-1. We've been getting down early in every game. So down 3-1 after one. Yeko from Anderson and Forsmark. No scoring in the second. Then we get 2 goals in the third. Middlestat and Cousins. And then we win in the shootout. Luukkonen with a very good game. A rough first period, but ends up stopping 39 out of 42. We were outshot 20-7 in that first period, but we managed to win again. So 3-0 to start the season. Let the game sim ahead to our next matchup, which looks to be a couple of days away. A couple of players on waivers. Kyler Yamamoto is at Cal Foot. Yep, 27 years old, and John Ludwig. The Vegas Golden Knights come to town now. Vegas is 1-1 in this early season. And let's see how it goes. 5-1 victory, so 4-0 on the year. Us and Tampa are the only 2 perfect teams so far. And we didn't get down early in this one. We got up early. So Vrana from Eichel and Shaw. Quinn from Poltapov and Savoy. Savoy with a second from Anderson and Quinn. Chychrun from Vrana and Eichel. And then Jack Quinn scored again in the third. Portillo stops 28 out of 29. All right. 4-0. I don't know that we're going to have anybody with, 110, 120 points this season, but what we may have is a very balanced team, rolling out multiple lines who are all going to score, 40, 60, 80 points, that sort of thing. What happened here? Oh, okay. So they signed him. They signed Kissick. Right, he was on our team last year. They signed him to a 3-year contract and then just waived him. Okay, well, I guess that's your thing. All right, at home against the Devils. We go to 5-0. No, we lose our first game of the year, 2-1. Got down early in this one, down 2-0. We scored Cameron Allen from Petal and Middlestat. Portillo with a really good game, stops 36 out of 38, but offensively we just couldn't get it done in this one. So 4-1 now. We'll pause, I don't know, sometime in the middle of November and look at the stats. Or maybe we'll just go through the end of, I don't know. But maybe we'll get to the end of the month, take a quick look at the stats through, 9 or 10 games or whatever, and then get through November. Philadelphia now. 10-3. So scratch what I said about not scoring a lot of goals. We put up a 10 spot on the Philadelphia Flyers. Sorry, Rit. Sabres were unstoppable here today. Vrana with 5 points, Nemestikov with 3, Anderson with 2, Eichel, Allen, and Nemestikov in the first, Middlestat, Shaw, and Vrana in the second, and Anderson, Chychrun, Shaw, and Chychrun again in the third. So what do we have for point totals here? So we have 2 for Chychrun, 1 for Allen and Power, 2 for Anderson, 5 for Vrana, 2 goals for Shaw, 2 points for Middlestat, 3 points for Eichel, a point for Benson, 3 for Nemestikov, 2 for Cousins, 1 for... And see, this is what I'm talking about. We scored 10 goals. And yeah, we had one player who scored 5 points, but beyond that, it was 1, 2, or 3 points for the entire roster. So offensively, we're going to be able to roll out 4 lines, which will be good, because that means that one line, if we suffer some injuries or if we have one line that's struggling, we'll always have kind of those secondary lines to come out and get it done for us. So we got the Avs again, this time in Colorado. We're currently tied for second, but we have 2 games in hand on Detroit. It's still obviously super early. Trade Jacob Ingham, a 26-year-old goaltender, to the Blues for a third. Tyler Seguin, the now 34-year-old Tyler Seguin, out for 2 weeks. Austin Matthews injured. Broken tooth. Hockey players don't miss 5 days with a broken tooth. I'm sorry. Alex Iafallo and Martin Chromiak. All right, we got the Avs in Colorado. (5-2) victory. So the victories keep on coming for the Sabres. Dahlin 2 assists, Middlestat goal and an assist, Peddle goal and assist. So again, got behind early. We were down 2-0 midway through the second period, but Peddle, Benson, and Allen in that second period would give us a 3-2 lead, and then Quinn and Middlestat in the third. And you know who's played really well so far this year? Rasmus Andersson. 7 points in 7. I mean, the game rating's actually not that good. 7 points in 7 games, though. He's a +9. All right, so we'll get through the month. We'll pause and we'll look at stats through 7, and then we'll continue on along. How long have I been going for? Yeah, we're only been going for... you guys know I like doing longer videos, even though it reduces the number of people that actually watch these things the longer they are, but whatever. I only get a little bit of time each day to do one game. So if I was only able to do, 20-minute videos, these seasons would take years. So I try to do an hour a day with each game. And I actually took the day off at work today, so I'm going to be able to do this and Draft Day Sports, pro basketball, immediately following. So, all right, so through 7 games, I mean, you can't ask for anything better than this. I mean, Eichel, 10 points, 7 games. Vrana, 10 points. Middlestat, 7. Anderson, 7. Savoy has got 6. Dahlin with 6. Quinn with 5. Peddle with 5. Nemestikov with 5. Cousins with 5. Yeah, it's been great so far. Plus minuses are fantastic, except for Poltapov, Benson, and Yeko. So that's second line, and then Poltapov. Yeko's a -4. Huh. Owen Power continues to struggle, man. Yeah, Forsmark has got a 57. Poltapov's a 59. Do we want to give somebody else a shot? I mean, I think we're winning right now, so we'll stick with how we're doing. Goalie stats. Portillo's been just a monster. 3-1 with a 1.50 and a 9.57 save percentage. Luukkonen's been fine. 3-0 with a 2.89 and a 9.08, but Portillo has been just a beast so far. What else do we want to look at? Look at our depth chart real quick. So we got Ivanov, who likely will be up next season. He's our top prospect. The rest of our top prospects are, basically ready to go. McKinnon, Anderson, Leslie, and Aremba are all in Rochester right now, along with Harvey and Smith. These guys will all be up next season, so we will be able to make some changes to our roster. Again, if we move on from Dahlin, we move on from Klingberg, and maybe find someone to take Anderson, it's not going to kill us because we've got so much talent. Same thing with the wing. We move on from Vrana. We can bring up Aremba. We can bring up Harvey. Will Smith can be up as well. He may stay down. That defense is not quite where I want it. But Marcus Lindgren, he 19 years old. Maybe sign him this offseason. 15 offense, 14 defense, 15 physicality. We don't have a lot of draft picks this year. Just a first, a second, a sixth, and a seventh. So, maybe come the trade deadline, we move Dahlin to kind of fill in some of these gaps maybe, because we don't necessarily need players right this second. I mean, and if we move Dahlin and we call up Mazden Leslie, are we really going to suffer that great of a loss? I don't know. Wow, Dylan McKinnon's good. Yeah, we have some studs in our minor league system still, which is impressive given that we've been picking towards the bottom. Even our low first-round picks, like Marcus Lindgren, we picked him 31st overall. Mock draft select had him predicted to go at 10th. We got him at 31. So we've got some good young players ready to go. Let's get to our next game. So yeah, I think we're in pretty good shape. But again, I don't know how long we're going to go with this. I think I want to try to speed it up a little bit, just because we're only through 6 seasons, and I've been playing for, 3 months now, 4 months now. So I think what I might do is once we get to the end of this episode, so whatever that is, end of November or whatever, I think I may sim ahead a couple of months offline rather than just doing 1 month offline. So maybe we sim ahead to, so I'll pick up roughly December 1st. Maybe I sim ahead to February 1st, play those couple of months offline, and then the following episode can be the trade deadline through the end of the regular season. And postseason, so maybe just do a couple of episodes here for this season. Unless you guys like the pace, just let me know. Let me know if you prefer to keep the pace we're going here, which is a couple of months at a time. It just means we're not going to be getting that far into the world, which, I mean, ultimately I'm okay with. But so we're fine here. Development report. Cousins got better. Dahlin got better. Yeko got better. Nemestikov got better. Klingberg and Vrana both got worse. That's fine as anticipated. Let's sim an injured player. Middle stat is hurt. How long is he out for? 1 to 2 weeks with shoulder soreness. All right, so that we will bring in first off. Do we want to? I don't want to leave him on that second line. I don't think. Move Shaw up. So Shaw, Nemestikov, and Petal. All right, let's keep going. Ooh, a 3-2 loss. This was a shootout loss. Got the Jets coming up tomorrow. I don't know why the game always saves on the 2nd of the month. You would think it would save on the 1st, but yeah, Franchise Hockey Manager is always saved on the 2nd of the month. It's weird. So we lose in the shootout. We get down 2-0. Dylan Guenther, John Farinacci, and then Shaw. And first off scores with 14 seconds left to send us to the shootout and get us that point. All right, the Jets now. Ooh, that's our first bad loss of the year. A 5-1 loss to the Jets. I guess we can look at the box score. Who got the goal for us? So we actually got out we gave up 5 goals in the second period. So Luukkonen got the start, got yanked. Portillo came in, stopped 12 out of 13. But Connor Hellebuck, wow, 43 out of 44. That's a game you want to forget. So we sit in second place, a point behind the Canadiens, but we do have a game in hand. Yeah, again, nobody here offensively for us in that that top list, which is kind of what I expected. Anybody here? No, nobody there is of interest to me, which is what I expected, again, given the makeup of our roster. No 110, 120 point scores. There we go. We bounce back with a 6-1 win. But a lot of potential 50, 60, 70 point scores, depending on how the rest of the season goes. So Eichel, a goal and 2 assists, Power 2 assists, Cousins 2 assists. That is nice. Eichel from Power and Cousins, Vrana from Eichel and Benson. 3 in the second. Cameron Allen already with 4 goals, Petal and first off, and then Vrana. Luukkonen only faces 17 shots, but stops 16 of them. We get 53 shots on the Sharks. See, I also don't think, I don't know what the trade deadline's going to bring. Obviously, we could be suffering some injuries between now and then, but I don't know, given the way our roster is set up right now, I don't know that we need, that we're going to be making any significant deals. So Yeko is out day to day, so we will replace him with Danielson, and the injuries start to commence for the Sabres. All right, so we got the Panthers at home. (3-2) loss. Barkov scores first. We get a goal from first off. They go up 2-1 in the second. They go up 3-1. Dahlin's able to get his first of the year, but we can't close it down. Portillo stops 32 out of 35. That was probably his worst game of the year. And that's saying something. So, all right. Well, 7-3-1. Again, a point. Once again, a point behind Montreal, but still with a game in hand. Vancouver off to a hot start, 9-2-0. The Hurricanes off to a hot start, 8-1-1. So we're not a dominating team. Right? We're playing OEL on waivers. He's now 35 years old, and those ratings starting to slip. Yeah, we're not a dominating team at all, but I mean, I think, again, we have so much young talent, and that might be part of my problem, is that I'm so, I guess, enthralled by those young 3-star, 4.5-star players that I don't give my regular players time to develop, and I'm not able to win as many games. I don't know, but I've always played the game this way. At Toronto, another loss. Ooh, that's not a good one. So we now fall into third place. A 5-2 loss. And we were down 3-0 in this one. Shaw and Eichel for us. Not a good game there. We faced 48 shots. And we face a red-hot Vancouver Canucks team. So we started out 4-0. We're 3-4-1 in our last 8, which is not obviously very good. Let's see how this one goes against the Canucks. If we lose this one, we may pause. And yeah, so we're 7-5-1. So 3-5-1 in our last 9. Take a look at our middle stat. So they're both... looks like Yeko is ready, so we will get Danielson out, replaced with Yeko. So let's take a look here. Yeah, see, we're not... I thought we were going to be... Huh. Okay. I assumed that with the number of giveaways and takeaways that we had, we were going to be a really, really aggressive team, but we're not. Okay. Yeah, I thought we were going to be a very aggressive team, but we're not. Huh. Why are we not shooting the puck? Oh, I want to shoot the puck. All right. Well, let's keep going. So I think what I'm going to do is just go about another week or so. Middlestat is ready, so let's get him back out there. Replacing... Who was out there? It was... First off, replace him with Middlestat to get the lines set correctly, like that. So I think I will go, we're here. So I think I'll get up here. We'll do another 4 or 5 games. And I think I'll end it here, and then we'll sim offline. Like I said, next I'll sim maybe a month and a half or something. An 8-7 win. So the offense looks okay. An 8-7 overtime win. It was 3-3 after one. Yeko, Benson, and Peddle for us. Nizev had a hat trick for them in 4 minutes and 45 seconds into the second period. Peddle with a hat trick for us. And then Eichel in overtime. So Portillo gets the start, plays really badly, but doesn't play as badly as their goalies. Who's hurt now? Forsmark is down. Ford, he's day-to-day, so we will stick Klingberg out there. And let's keep going. So, a hot start, 4-0 out of the gate. And then 3-5-1 in the next 9. And then we've won our last 2 where we've put up 16 goals. 5 goals in the first. Cousins, Vrana, Nemestikov, and Dahlin. And 2 more in the second. Yeko and Eichel, and then Nemestikov again in the third. So 4-point game for Jacob Vrana. 2 goals, 2 assists. Goal and 3 assists for Yeko. For Cousins. A goal and 3 assists for Eichel. And Luukkonen with a pretty decent game. So the 20th, that's going to be the date we call this episode. We got a New York team coming up next. I'm not sure which team it is. It just says at New York. Let's sim. Another injured player. Oh, suspended. Quinn is suspended for 4 games. All right, so first off, we'll come in. So we've won back-to-back games after that rough stretch, and then we win a defensive battle here. So 4-0, then 3-5-1, then 3-0. So, yeah, hot and cold so far this year. Nemestikov had a goal. Benson picks up his 4th. And Portillo stops 31 out of 32, so he bounces back after a couple of rough outings. Ugh, God, friggin' injuries, man. Benson's out for 1 to 2 weeks. We will replace him with Danielson. All right, so we dig into our depth. I mean, that's why we have it, right? That is why we have it. Who do we want to call up? We'll call up Mazden Leslie. We will replace Chychrun with Leslie. And Chychrun will go on the injured list. Injuries. All right, next game. And then we'll pause and we'll look at stats again once we get to the 20th, and then I'll call it an episode because that'll put us at like 45 minutes or something. A little bit more than that. We're already at 40-something. Forsmark ahead of schedule. Safe to dress him. Do I want to dress him, though? 57 game rating. How has Klingberg done in his 2 games? 63 game rating. We'll leave Klingberg out there for a couple of games and see how it goes. Get through this game against the Blues. We lose that one 4-2. So we got one more game left in this episode against the Devils. So we get a goal from Eichel and a goal from Cousins, but they score 4 in the third. Ooh, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. 50 shots on goal for the Sabres, however. All right, one more game this episode. So an up and down season so far, but we are still in first place, even with that up and down season. We got a 1-point lead on the Canadiens, and we are 2 games in hand. So let's finish this day. See how we can end this episode against the Devils. 4-1 victory. So that'll be a good place to end it. First place in the... Actually, I guess let's look at the box score. Middle stat, Shaw, Yeko, and Owen Power picks up his first. Luukkonen stops 26 out of 27. So we are 18 games in, 11-6-1. We have a 1-point lead on the Canadiens with 2 games in hand. We have a 2-point lead on the Bruins with 1 game in hand. Nobody in the top 10 in points or goalie information or goalie stats, but pretty decent start to the year. Eichel, 21 points in 18 games. He and Vrana continue to get it done. Shaw's got 15 points in 18 games, but is a minus player. Benson probably needs a couple of days off. He's a -7. First off's a -5 in 9 games. Danielson's a -2. Nemestikov having his best offensive season, 15 points in 18 games. Cousins having another one of those I don't score a lot of goals type seasons, but playing pretty well. Peddle having a nice rookie season for us, 13 points in 13 games with a 72 game rating. Rasmus Anderson doing pretty well. I think we're okay. I think we are okay. Goalie stats. Portillo 5-4-1 with a 2.73 and a 9.18. He's come back down to earth after that redonkulous start. And then Luukkonen 6-2, but a 3.05 goals against. So that is where we are. So yeah, so I think what I'll do is maybe it's November 21st. So maybe I do the rest of November, all of December, and then some of January. And I'll come back sometime in the middle of January, and that'll give us about a month and a half. Next episode we can do the middle of January through the end of February. So that'll be 3 episodes here for this season. So next episode will be the trade deadline. The following episode will be the end of the season and hopefully postseason. So, yeah, that's going to do it, guys. I appreciate you watching, as always. I appreciate your support, and I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.